Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. In this video, we are going to discuss the 5 lessons learned in accumulating and stacking precious metals. What you see before you are examples of gold and silver bullion. And gold and silver have been used as money for literally thousands of years. And we understand that nations use them, they accumulate them, they store them, and they use them as money. To this day, every major sovereign nation in the world stores gold and coins gold and silver. And so when large central banks understand the importance of these precious metals, well, so can we, for sure. Now, I'm focusing more on gold and silver, but some of the same lessons can be applied in some ways to what I refer to as the fringe precious metals. Platinum and palladium and rhodium, among some other lesser-known metals, are good to accumulate as well, to be diverse in your stacking. And sometimes there's some opportunities there, and it's kind of exciting to see that there's other precious metals that we can accumulate. So let's go through this list. I think it'll be exciting and help us to be encouraged that we're doing the right thing in these 5 lessons learned when accumulating precious metals. The first one is value. Before you really can go much further in doing this and accumulating these precious metals, you have to understand their value. And I think most of us here do. In some ways, it goes without saying. But really, we have to fully understand what it means by value. And gold and silver have been used in coinage and as money for millennia and for thousands of years. There's no other commodity out there that has the track record of gold and silver to be used in that form as money. And we understand that through history, they have been precious to in many different ways, from art, for the biotechnical field, technology industry, but most importantly, as money. And understanding that, we realize that you can take this 1-ounce gold bar or this 100-gram silver bar here, and it essentially buys the same types of things that it would have 100 years ago. By most metrics, there's some obvious outliers out there, but nonetheless, its value is consistent. Its price is not, obviously, as the price has gone up over time. If you take a look at a long-term chart for gold and silver, its price has risen over time. For the most part, it's had its periods of ups and downs and its volatility. But more so than any other commodity or any other entity, gold and silver have been the one consistent and constant being as money, as these precious metals. Gold and silver, quite amazing these metals are. So understanding value is key and important. And understanding value brings us to our next lesson, diligence. That's right. Once you understand diligence, or once you understand value, then being diligent to accumulate these precious metals is the next step. And being diligent no matter what the price is, and budgeting to be able to accumulate these precious metals in time is key. And it's diligence that makes us, quote, stackers or accumulators of precious metals. And that term stacking has been popularized really essentially here on the online community. Most of us refer to the accumulation of these precious metals as stacking. And by stacking, we are accumulating literally these bars, one on top of each other, or bullion coins and the like. And we're building, adding weight to our stacks, so to speak, and essentially becoming our own central banks. And that's what it's about. If sovereign nations can do it, well, why can't we? So we're being diligent in accumulating these precious metals, and that's what it's about. It's about being diligent no matter what the price. It's about being diligent with our budgets, because you can purchase precious metals when the price of gold is $1,800 or the price of silver is $48 an ounce. You just might get a little less than you would if you were to buy when gold is at $1,250 and silver is at $15.50. Nonetheless, it's about diligence, about stacking no matter what naysayers may say. It's about understanding the true value of silver and gold through literally a millennia. Building upon those first two lessons is the third lesson, patience. That's right. If you have the diligence to accumulate precious metals in a consistent manner throughout time, and you understand the value, then more than likely you'll have the patience to keep going no matter what the price is, and is to hold and to buy, and having the patience in some cases not to buy if you can't afford to accumulate, but having the patience to realize that these metals will, in time, the price will match its value. And in some cases it is to a point now, depending on the metrics that you measure, but by and large, the price to value ratio, it's really hard to really kind of nail down. It's somewhat subjective in a way, but by and large, if you take a look at long-term charts, you'll realize the price has gone up for both these metals since they were first being tracked. With inflation, they are hedges against inflation, and in many cases, hedges against deflationary periods as well. It's a long game. In other words, we are in this for the long term, holding these precious metals. We may never sell them. Some of us may pass them down to the next generation. Some of us may need to sell them when the price is particularly low. But that's okay. If that needs to be done, and there are examples where that has occurred, then you know that they are serving their purpose, because they have some intrinsic value, and you'll be able to accumulate that. And depending on what the value of the dollar may be at that particular time, you may break even, or maybe still come out ahead, even if the price is lower than what it was when you purchased them. So having that patience is crucial and important if you're going to continue to be an accumulator of precious metals. Building upon those first three lessons of value, diligence, and patience is the fourth lesson, and that is discipline. And discipline sort of is a wrapping up of diligence and patience with the understanding of value, because I believe that's what discipline is. It's the combination of diligence and patience, and that is staying the course and recognizing fiscal responsibility in your budgets. I believe that those of us who do accumulate gold and silver are fiscally responsible. It teaches us the value of saving, and saving in such a way that it's not easy at times. Even though both of these metals are very liquid, it's much easier to take a $20 bill in your pocket and go out and spend it than it is to go to take a 1 ounce gold bar or 100 gram silver bar out to the market to purchase goods and services in the modern age. But nonetheless, these metals are fungible. They are money, and they do have great value. But it teaches us the value of discipline, which is a combination, I believe, of patience and diligence. That leads us to the fifth lesson in accumulating precious metals, and that is enjoyment. That's right. I think that is key, because these are quite attractive. The metals themselves are quite attractive, and in their just appearance themselves. With silver, sometimes we get interesting toning, as you see here, and its brilliance and reflectivity is matched by no other metal on the planet. And then gold's shiny brilliance, that yellow color, that non-corrosive nature. This is indestructible. Gold is no matter what, they can break it down with chemicals, but it can be reconstituted. Gold, an amazing and rare precious metal. Just the metals themselves are beautiful, and they're here for us to enjoy. I believe that God made them that way for us to enjoy these metals. But not only the metals themselves, but in the forms for which they come. In this particular case, the relatively boring Credit Suisse bars, where essentially you just have the stamping and a repeating logo, but nonetheless, the brilliance of the metals themselves shine on. But there's so many different ways to collect gold and silver in many different forms. In fact, I've said this many times, and I will say it again, that for those hardcore, pure accumulators and pure stackers of precious metals, gold and silver, no matter what, they do turn into collectors in some form or another. People realize the beauty and the artistry involved, and they accumulate these precious metals. It's very common for people to see videos of those who have been stacking for a while start to accumulate other series and really begin to discuss and talk about the sheer beauty of the coins and the rounds and the bars for which they accumulate. Quite fascinating and amazing indeed. So enjoy. There's no other insurance policy on the face of the earth that you can enjoy so much as you can gold and silver. Gold and silver, they sell themselves for what they are, for the history that makes them up. Their beauty sells itself. And that's why they have surpassed epochs and millennia, governments and empires. Gold and silver, amazing precious metals. Gold and silver, the lessons that they teach us will last for thousands of years to come. Gold and silver. Keep on accumulating, keep on stacking, keep on collecting, and keep on buying. And if you need to sell, well, sell. But nonetheless, enjoy them. So there's the 5 lessons of that we can walk away with of accumulating precious metals, gold and silver. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.